It's no surprise that Elizabeth Edwards named her recent memoir Resilience. Few women have endured the private betrayals in their marriage in such a public manner. And of course, she's had to cope with a disease she knew would limit the time she has with her own children. So we're going to revisit this in this hour with Claire Shipman, who's been covering the story of Elizabeth Edwards. And Claire, this last 24 hours, we've all learned that her condition has worsened.
It has, David, and I think few women have taught us as much about resilience as Elizabeth Edwards, and I think that strength and the fact that she's continued to live so defiantly is what makes the news that she's losing this battle such a surprise. Many thought if anybody could beat the odds, it would be Elizabeth Edwards.
For years, Elizabeth Edwards was known as the perfect political wife and mother.
My rock, my love, and your next vice president, John Edwards.
But now she may best be remembered as a fighter and a survivor.
My job is to stay alive long enough for the medicine to outrun me. And I'm not going to be either unnecessarily buoyed or unnecessarily depressed.
In 1996, her life and her marriage were rocked by the death of her firstborn, Wade, just 16 when he was killed in an auto accident. She reflected on the tragedy on an afternoon I spent with her 6 years ago.
I know last time we talked, you talked about, your life stops when you lose a child, and that
there isn't a parent who's lost a child in this country who doesn't know that. I mean, everything exists before that time and after that time.
But Elizabeth vowed to bring laughter back into her life, prompting her to have more children in addition to her then teenage daughter Kate. In 1998, at 48, she gave birth to Emma Claire. 2 years later, she had son Jack.
You want to go pick one out? Yes.
you made a very dramatic choice to expand your family at an age when most women have long given up childbearing. Was that a tough choice to make?
It wasn't a tough choice to make. We said, how in the world are we going to get joy back in this house? We said, all right, what gives us joy? And we realized what gave us joy was children.
But soon came more struggles. In 2004, after an exhaustive year on the campaign trail, John lost his bid to become vice president. At the same time, Elizabeth learned she had breast cancer. She told Larry King about the discovery.
Mentally, the worst was when I very first heard. I just didn't know what to expect.
After undergoing treatment, the cancer went into remission in June 2006. But the following year, the cancer was back and terminal. And Elizabeth did the unthinkable, choosing to remain on the campaign trail, supporting John, then running for president.
One of the reasons that it's important from my perspective to move forward with this is that I'm immensely proud of John's campaign.
But soon a devastating betrayal from her husband.
I wanted to talk to him. I wanted to sit down with him. I wanted to scream at him.
The two separated earlier this year and have spent the last months trying to navigate their new reality, to cope with her illness and protect their children. John Edwards is at her side now, as one friend said, because he is still family. More than anything, it's her strength that defines her, her courage, which, even in the face of tremendous adversity, never seems to wane.
I do know that when they're older and telling their own children about their grandmother, they will be able to say that she stood in the storm. And when the wind did not blow her way, and it surely has not, she adjusted her sails.
Beautiful words from Elizabeth Edwards. Claire Shipman's going to stick with us, but I wanted to bring in Bob Woodruff. The two of us have covered the Edwards so many times through the years, and I'll never forget standing in North Carolina when she said there, the campaign goes on, the resiliency. And I was looking at the date. That was more than 3 years ago, Bob. Does it surprise you that she's survived this long and she's been so valiant in her effort to do so?
Well, she is driven, and her, and now you can see that her family is surrounding her right in that house. That she is family. Absolutely. When we covered these campaigns, 2004 with me, 2007 with you, as you know that the family was there. I remember in these buses where they traveled around campaigning, there's her two little brand new children right there in the bus. Her brother, she talks to him all the time, Jay, who's an old friend of mine, almost every single day during those campaigns were going on, and that's exactly what's happening now. She's surrounded by her kids, surrounded by her sister, her brother, and certainly a lot of her friends are writing to her back and forth, and she's going out with Facebook and everything.
You had to conduct the difficult interview about the challenge they faced in their marriage, the most recent challenge, and to hear that John Edwards is now in the home, not surprising that they would do that for the children.
That's exactly it. Whatever the personal relationship is now between John and Elizabeth, with the kids want that to be there. You know, all the family, including him. I know I saw people, even just right before Thanksgiving, they saw John and Elizabeth actually shopping together in a grocery store. So they've been together. They're separated, yes, but they're there together because of these children.
All right, Bob Woodruff and Claire Shipman with that beautiful piece this morning. We thank you both for bringing us up to date on Elizabeth Edwards, and if she and her family are watching, our thoughts are with her.